It's just Jay with True Empathic Insights Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel this month. Okay, so if you haven't had an opportunity to view your moon and or rising sign as of yet, the goal was to post as many videos as I could early enough so that you could get the message before February began, at least in time for February. I'm doing things a little bit differently this month. In fact, this is your monthly oracle card reading, but this time it's about romance and love. And it's been quite an interesting journey. Like I said, if you haven't viewed your moon and or rising sign as of yet, in that when I initially began the readings, I just go based off of what the universe tells me, what my guides give me. And it really has been more about your romance and your love for the year, not so much as for the month. So that's been a very interesting take. And while I do try to apply it for both those of you that are in relationships versus those of you that are single, sometimes the reading has a tendency to lead more towards one versus the other. And I try to apply it to both, but it has been, this is more for those of you that are in a relationship. And then if I can somehow steer it towards the ones that are single as well, it just depends. And what I've been using, and apologies if I sound a little raspy, I caught the yuckiness that's been going around. I managed to not get sick this entire winter solstice and harvest and period. While everyone else was getting sick, I managed to avoid it, and then it finally hit me. So I'm still a little congested. I'm still healing, but I feel well enough now to record. Anyway, these are the Romance Angels Oracle cards that I'm primarily using for your reading. And then, so that's by Doreen Virtue. And then your Clarifier card is going to be from the Lovers Oracle card deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. I really like Tony Carmine Salerno's cards and Doreen Virtue's cards so much. I feel like it's very much connected to dogma, religion. I was born under the Christian faith, so I still very much hold a lot of those teachings internally as part of my own truths. And so in conjunction with what I'm trying to give to you intuitively and through the cards, it's kind of nice to have that balance and to have those that have created cards that align with that. So without further ado, I'm talking a lot, so let me just get right to it. Virgo, your first card here is Make the Effort, which is kind of interesting because to me that says this is for those of you that are, well, it could be for those of you that are in a relationship, but this means right off the gate, or right out the gate, this is more so geared towards those of you that are single. And there might be somebody who has some major potential as far as relationships are concerned. And maybe you're still kind of debating on whether or not this is somebody you should give a chance. If it's something that's worth pursuing. And to me, this is the universe's way of saying, you know what, it's worth making an effort. It's worth pursuing this. You have feelings for this person. You're clearly attracted to this person. You'd like to see where you'd like for something to develop, which is very apropos for Virgo. You're very virtuous and you're not naive, but you definitely take a virtuous approach when it comes to your relationships. Kind of it's that virgin mentality that makes you so appealing to other partners. You're also an earth sign, so you're very grounded. You offer a sense of stability and longevity to other partners. But there's a fickle side to you, isn't there, Virgo? Especially if you've had your heart broken before. Especially if you've been in a situation where you felt like someone took you for granted. And so as a result, you might be a little more cautious, a little more meticulous in how you approach relationships. And there's nothing wrong with that, but this tells me that there's someone that's, basically in your sphere right now, that's in your immediate circle, that you're definitely drawn to. There's definitely a connection there. This could be a kindred spirit, a soulmate, which is not the same as a twin flame. I firmly believe that twin flames are quite different. That's the real partner. That's the long-term person you're meant to walk this plane with. But a soulmate or a kindred spirit is someone that you have a soul contract with. That's someone that you are meant to learn something from. You decided before you entered this plane in this lifetime that you wanted to gain something. You wanted to learn something. And so the soul contracts that you set with a myriad of partners are meant to cross your paths during this lifetime for that purpose, for you to grow, for you to learn. And so this could very well be a kindred spirit, a soulmate contract, which could be long-term, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's your twin flame. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is the person you're meant to marry and be with. And some people actually end up marrying a soulmate that's not their twin flame, and then they end up getting divorced and finding their twin flame down the road. So that's very possible. I don't necessarily see that for you for this sign. I mean, it's not to say that that couldn't happen, but I definitely don't want you to go into this relationship thinking there's a very good chance that we could get divorced. I don't want you thinking like that or going to a negative place. I just want you to keep in mind, Virgo, that if there's this person that's stirring some type of romantic feelings inside of you, then that's worth pursuing. That's worth making the effort and getting to know that person a little bit better. For those of you that are in a relationship, let's see, it might mean that your partner may have been doing more of the work than you've been doing lately. Maybe you've been a little more detached and less invested, and so maybe this is the universe's way of saying it's time for you to start making a little more of an effort. There needs to be a balance in your relationship. Your partner shouldn't be making more of the effort than you. But I feel very much right out the gate that this is for those Virgos that are single and that are a little bit sketchy about this person that's entered their life. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. As is the message right there. I'm going to turn on my space heater because it's a little cold. Excuse me. Your next card here is romantic feelings, which is very apropos. And romantic feelings means that there's something that's been stirred in your heart. That means that this person is definitely moving you in a positive way. And I still feel very strongly that this is something that you should consider. If you've I just feel like there was a major heartbreak recently for you, Virgo, and it's just made you so cautious about who you allow yourself to get close to. I feel like this major heartbreak occurred about a year ago. This wasn't just a few months ago. This was a while ago. And you're still, in a sense, healing from it. But there's someone who's like, hey, I'd really like to get to know you. And you've pulled away from them. And so you're pulling away from them enough. And I would say it's not even somebody that you're going to meet in the month of February. I feel like this is someone you've already met. This is somebody that's in your immediate circle that you've crossed paths with on numerous occasions, that's attempted to make an effort with you, and you've, in a sense, kind of pulled back. You've been a little more coy and a little more reserved. And there's nothing wrong with being reserved, but when you do that, you kind of close yourself off from attaining new love. And maybe you don't feel like you're ready for new love, but I feel like the universe is saying to you, but you are. And if you ever expect to fully move forward in the direction that you like, which is a very traditional direction. I see you wanting marriage. I see you wanting a family, wanting a traditional kind of a setup. And my cards are not gender biased. This is not only indicative of heterosexual relationships. This can be same-sex relationships or otherwise. And I feel like the universe is saying you are ready for this. You've done a lot of the work. You've done a lot of the processing and the healing. And so now it's time to move forward and allow someone new to come in. Now it's time to allow love back in, because you're closing yourself off from something that is quite literally accessible to you right now. And I think you know who this person is. It's the first person that comes to mind when I say something like make the effort or romantic feelings. The first person that comes to mind is generally the person that the universe is referring to. In most cases. Unless, I don't know, Virgo, maybe you're hot right now and you've got a few choices. Hey. But the card itself says your feelings are real and worth exploring. So this sounds like somebody that's really worth your time, worth getting to know and building a relationship with. Dating, spending time with, talking, allowing yourself to feel again. It's okay to feel. Heartbreak is a part of this plane. Heartbreak is a part of life. But you can't let that stop you from allowing new love to come in, from accessing love again. You know, you're meant to learn from the heartbreak, but it's not meant to deter you altogether from experiencing new love and possibilities. So please keep that in mind when heartbreak does occur and you feel yourself kind of pulling away. But I do feel like the heartbreak happened a while ago, and for many of my single Virgos. And so, as a result, you've just shut yourself off. And I would very much charge against not doing that, because new love is around the corner, and you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the opportunity if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to feel again. How can I steer this towards those of you that are in a relationship? I'm going to need some tea, my voice. Let's see. Gosh, romantic feelings. Maybe new romantic feelings are being charged from the current relationship that you're in. So maybe some of you are currently in a relationship, but you really have detached from your partner, and you're not sure as far as whether or not you can count on this person to be around for the long haul. Well, just the fact that you're questioning it is kind of putting that negative energy out there. It's the law of attraction, right? If you believe it's not going to last, it's not going to last. But if you remain hopeful and you continue to allow yourself to explore these romantic feelings and allow yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to fully submerge yourself into the relationship, then the greater the chances of it actually lasting, right? Final card for you, my dear Virgo friends, is this could be the one. So, maybe this is your twin flame. Wow. And if it ends up being your twin flame, that's pretty awesome. This could be deeper than a soul contract. This could be the actual person you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. And when I think of twin flames, you know, some readers believe that twin flames are the same soul that's split. I don't really see it that way. I feel like it's an extension of yourself. You're very much compatible. You're very similar in a lot of ways. But twin flames can also have very juxtaposing ideas and thoughts. Hence the yin and yang theory, right? Because if you're actually the same, then there's no depth. There's no growth. There has to be some opposing ideas, some differences that ends up making the relationship more exciting, that makes the relationship more, grounded is the word that came to mind, but substantial, that makes the relationship substantial. So, if you find yourself, with your twin flame, if this is your twin flame, and there are some juxtaposing thoughts, don't write that person off immediately, my single Virgos, because, you know, the twin flame is the one that's going to try and work things out with you. That's the one that's going to try and, that's the one that's going to try and, try to figure out the best way to find a resolve. See, twin flames recognize that you have differences. Recognize your light and your dark. But they complement that, if that makes sense. So they're not completely turned off by your dark, and they're not completely turned off by they don't find your light absolutely obnoxious either. They complement each other. Your light and your dark complements their light and their dark. And you work through any issues. You work through things. Relationships where you're just constantly fighting and there's no resolve, there's no clear indicator of both of you attempting to make things work, that could very well be a soul contract in which you learning right then and there that this is not somebody that's worth being with long term, and this is why. You deserve a partner that's willing to work through these kinds of things with you. So your twin flame will work through those things with you. It's not going to be peaches and cream all the time. It's not going to be rose-colored settings. There's going to be a lot of good, a lot of beauty, a lot of love, but there's also going to be some challenges involved too. But your twin flame, because they love you, because they value the depth of the relationship, will work through it with you. And that's where that complementary energies come together. I'm trying to make an yin and yang symbol, but as long as you get it, that's all that matters. So this could very well be that you meet your twin flame. If you haven't already, I feel like many of you have already met this person. And it's the first person that comes to mind, which is pretty rad if that's what's occurring right now. So that's pretty cool. Like, that's really neat, Virgo. Like, what a beautiful reading right there. Your twin flame is like right here. You're ready. And and dare I say it, it's probably because of the heartbreak. You learned a lot from that heartbreak a year ago. A lot. Even if you don't see it that way. You really did. And so now you're able to enter this relationship wholeheartedly because you know what you will and will not put up with. And your twin flame recognizes that and respects you for it. Appreciates it. Excuse me. Because honestly, if this wasn't your twin flame, I mean, this person wouldn't appreciate you at all. They wouldn't appreciate you for your strength. They wouldn't appreciate you for the depth that you bring. Right? And I feel like this person really appreciates you. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So you've already met them. And for those of you that are in a relationship, gosh, I just feel like this reading is more so for those that are singles. I'm sorry, my Virgo friends, if that are in relationships, if you feel neglected. That is not my intention. But this definitely feels like a reading for single Virgos in particular that really needed to hear this. But for those of you that are in a relationship, what can I tell them, universe? Don't completely write off the person that you're with right now. Allow the relationship to evolve. Go with the flow. Allow yourself to be fully present in the relationship. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and to go with it. Go with the flow. Just go with the flow. This reading is more so geared towards single Virgos. But for those of you that are in a relationship, it feels like the relationship might actually be on solid footing, solid grounding, which with you being an earth sign is a good sign. So allow yourself to just fully feel and explore. Just explore it. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to make sense of it. Just allow it to be. You're definitely a control freak, Virgo. Most definitely. Makes sense. Don't try to control this. Just allow it to be. Go with the flow. Try to go with the flow. Excuse me. And on to your clarifier card. My dear Virgo friends, yours just popped right out for me. So this is the... my baby. It's my dog. He's spoiled. So obviously there's this beautiful embrace and there are angel wings surrounding them. And there are hearts in the angel wings, but the card itself says, "My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing." To me, that is the message of your twin flame, that even though you may not necessarily be physically connected right now, that connection is going to come very soon. Because love transcends space and time. So even though we're not in a committed relationship right this second, we made a commitment to each other on a spiritual plane to connect at some point in this plane. So it's going to happen. And my love for you is deep. And my love for you transcends space and time. So I hope that provided some comfort to you, my dear single Virgo friends. For my relationship Virgo friends, go with the flow. Enjoy it. Enjoy this time. If you're just dating and it just, maybe doesn't feel very serious, that's okay. Just enjoy dating for a while. There's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I mean? I mean, you're in a relationship, but if you're not living together and there's not a ring, that's okay. Just enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it. Let this person take you out. Let this person spoil you for a little bit. But don't be so selfish that they're doing all the work. Make sure that you're contributing as well, too. But for my single Virgo friends, this is awesome. And you definitely have to keep me posted. Definitely let me know how this works out. I feel like you've already met them and it's just a matter of time. So, yay! If you would like a personal reading, as always, you can reach out to me at the information in the description box located directly below the video or conveniently at the end of this video. I'm still working on my website. I'm trying to build it myself. I might just hire someone to help me with this. But I'm trying to set up a website to make purchasing readings a little bit easier for everyone involved. Again, if you haven't checked your moon and or rising sign out, be sure to check those out. And as always, blessings, light, and love. Bye, Virgo. Enjoy the month.